quarter time here at Sky Dome. Let's get down to the Concordia sideline and join David Amber. David.
Thanks, Rod. Joining me is the president of Concordia University, Dr. Frederick Lowy. President, what do you think of your team's first time here?
We're always very proud of our team, and today we're especially proud of them.
And what you got to like your chances right now. You came in as huge underdogs, but your team's playing really well, especially defensively.
Well, we're hanging in there, and I think in the end we're going to do all right. It takes a lot of heart to be here, and we've got a lot of heart.
Thank you very much. Looking for another Quebec miracle like the one in 1987. Back to you, Rod.
Thank you, David. Referring to McGill winning it when Pat Sheehan was an assistant for them over UBC. Vanier. Big play here, but once again a drop. Hugo Carrier couldn't hang on. And that was around midfield. On first down, we have had 3 drop balls here today.
I'll tell you what, the quarterbacks, both Meyer and Reed, maybe want to get together and talk about this and say, what's wrong with our receivers today? Because they're certainly putting the ball right on the money, and that is just a case of not concentrating and tucking the ball away. I mean, you got to make those kind of plays in big games, no question about it. And you're only going to get one chance to catch it. You can't bobble it because the defenders are so good they're going to get to you right away and knock it away.
A case of nerves, you'd have to think, because the conditions in here, of course, are kept perfect for receivers. Barring maybe the lights, and another drop. Jim Wood, first attempt to him, and he can't hang on, so the Stingers go 2 and out. You cannot fault this guy, number 3, John Kronemeyer.
I think Pat Sheehan and Brian Towers are going to want to look at those footballs and say, what, are they covered with grease? Because no one seems to be able to hold on to it right now, and the quarterbacks are doing a real good job of putting the ball on the money. Again, you know, he wants to throw it, waits a little bit here because the linebacker's there, and then he puts it right on the money. I mean, that's a very good pass.
Colin Dutton with the coverage, but not batting it away or anything. It was a catchable football again. So Concordia equals Saskatchewan in drop passes, although the ones to the Huskies were far more costly. Both should have been touchdowns, really, as you see David Mirza back for this punt. And the Huskies should have good field position. He's up around his 44. And the snap is low. Miller Johnston will get it away. Another nice spiral. And that's where Mirza takes it at his 44. David Mirza slipping and going down at the 52 after a 50-yard punt. Great day of punting so far for Miller Johnston, and a good thing for his team. The Huskies, however, will have good field position to work with this time at their 52.
You know, for Brian Towers right now on offense, I mean, he thinks that his team probably should be up here 14-0 right now, and Ryan Reed, it's his job right now to keep everybody positive, say, hey, listen, we dropped some balls, we made some mistakes, but we're going to keep coming back, keep pulling the trigger. This is almost similar against Western a week ago when Saskatchewan had a real chance to kind of put them away early, and they didn't, and then the game became close until the 4th quarter. I'm sure Brian Towers does not want the same thing to happen today's game. He'd like to get this one away early if he could. They came in here as 14.5-point favorites, as some people set the line. And he knows that the longer that this game goes and Concordia stay close, Concordia's going to continue to get more confidence.
Absolutely. We should point out, however, that Towers' Huskies were favorites 2 years ago against St. FX. The score at the half were the X-Men leading 12-0. They led 12-10 in three-quarter time before Saskatchewan and Brent Schneider finally got it going, and they won it going away, 31-12. This one is caught by Jason Sauls on first down, and he has another first down across midfield and to the Concordia 47. First catch of the day for number 77, Sauls.
Now, he's been a great addition to this Husky football team, you know, coming out of junior football in his first year this year. Real nice job, but a great block here by Malinchuk, number 18. Good block right there, and actually lets Sauls get outside and get up and get the first down. But Sauls comes into this game with a 23-yard average. I mean, he's a guy that they like to go to down the field. Pretty good numbers in the playoff game, 6 catches, 74 yards, and of course that touchdown.
Saskatchewan averaging over 7 yards on first down. Play action, fake, complete. There's another first down. And it's Jarrett Rennie with his 3rd catch of the day. Inside the Concordia 25. Huskies will be in scoring position again.
This is when Ryan Reed goes back in the huddle and just gives everybody on the offensive line a real pat in the head. There is nobody close to him. And they run Rennie coming across the middle, and of course Jarrett Rennie, an all-Canadian 1996. Again, kind of playing zone defense, and that's not really what Concordia like to play. They'd rather play much more of a man scheme and come after the quarterback.
This drive started just shy of midfield. They're inside the 25 now. Under pressure, they've got him. Wayne Dunn with the sack.
There's Paul Chester, the defensive coordinator. But you can see this time, this is how Concordia like to play. They like to get men up front here. Look at everybody in there, and then they run that little stunt there. They beat the linebackers. Saskatchewan initially do a pretty good job of picking it up, but they don't sustain the blocks. And when Reed can't go to the initial receiver, when he tries to turn back and look at the second receiver, he can't find him, he gets sacked. And that's Wayne Dunn down on the ground, the defensive lineman.
Wayne Dunn, in his first year, it could have been his third, but he suffered a broken neck in an auto accident 2 years ago. And that's where they are looking right now after that sack. Concordia still trailing Saskatchewan only by 3 after 1. This is Wayne Dunn, live now on the sideline, walked off on his own after being hit. And I mentioned, Jamie, he'd had a broken neck. It didn't look like a neck injury.
No, it didn't here. I think you see his own player come over and actually catches a knee in the side of his helmet. And after he gets up initially, but now all the brain cells are starting to scatter, and I think he realizes, oh, I've been knocked in the head, and he just kind of goes down on one knee to get himself clear. And looks like he'll be back in this football game. He's all right.
Dunn was in an automobile accident 2 years ago and suffered a broken neck. Made a remarkable comeback last year, but didn't have the confidence to play university ball, so he opted for junior ball instead.
We talk a lot about Saskatchewan having a lot of ex-junior players, but so do Concordia. They have a lot from the St. Leonard's Cougars, which is part of the Ontario Football League, or Quebec Minor or Major Junior Football League.
Wayne Dunn at the sack, though, a loss. 12 yards, 2nd and 22, and they run the drive to Rosen, and he is not going very far. So with a flag down, depending on what that flag is, it's a field goal situation for Saskatchewan.
I think Saskatchewan's going to get called for a hold here, and they're going to be looking down at... I think they're going to try and take him back to keep him out of field goal range. I think that's what I would probably do if I was Pat Sheehan.
Holding, number 65, Saskatchewan.
Number 65, Glenn Carson, called for holding on that play. Jeff Anderson.
Just take a look at left your screen. Number 99 does a really good job of the swim move, and then coming in there, you can see he's actually tackling him. That's not a hold, that's a tackle. You can't do that, son.
If there's no gain here, it would be a 52-yard attempt from Matt Kellett, as long as the longest of the year is 50. So a good call by Sheehan and the Stingers to push Saskatchewan back further. 2nd down and forever. Anderson makes it a non-issue, getting through and sacking Ryan Reed close to midfield.
Jeff Anderson was a Metris nominee in 1997 for the most outstanding lineman in the country. Does a real good job. Bang. Hits Carson and then sheds him off and gets into the gap and does a real nice job of getting to the quarterback. He was an All-Canadian a year ago, was not recognized as even an all-conference player this year, which had defensive coordinator Paul Chester kind of shaking his head in disbelief. When you certainly see him play the way he's playing today, you can understand why he was a All-Canadian. 3 sacks.
For 30 yards and losses, and for all the talk about Saskatchewan's front 7, Concordia's front has been pretty brilliant in the pass rushing as well. So Kellett will have to punt, gets it away from his 50. This is a laser. Chasing Dave Spence into the end zone. Looks like you can perhaps chalk up another point, or no, he runs it out. Dave Spence, one man to beat. Taken down at the Concordia 40. What a return for Spence.
We saw 2 great plays here. We saw a super punt. Look how deep he is in the end zone here. He's 15 yards deep. Does a good job of trying to get it out. And then once he breaks that contain, now it's down the sidelines. Matt Kellett does a good job of forcing him back inside. And Tony Chad has to make the tackle. He's a backup running back. You see the kind of speed that Dave Spence has. Matt Kellett plays it properly. Uses the sideline to his advantage.
63-yard punt and a 52-yard return. And on 1st down around their 40, Stingers handing off to John Ashworth, his first carry of this day. First quarter stats, well, on the scoreboard, it certainly could have favored Saskatchewan a lot more because some of the other items, in particular, the passing yardage, Jamie, favor the Huskies.
And they would have been probably over 200 yards passing if Malinchuk and also Doug Rosen had to drop 2 beautiful passes thrown by Ryan Reed.
So Concordia in this second quarter find themselves in a pretty good position, down by only 3 points. The shotgun snap to Kronemeyer to the side. It's complete. And a first down for the Stingers. Evan Davis Jr. with the catch. And they're up near midfield.
Well, they empty the backfield out and go with 4 receivers to the left-hand side, and they're going to run this little slip screen over here to Evan Davis Jr., who normally is a tailback. They have it set up the wall. Beasley forces it back inside, but Evan Davis Jr. does a good job of getting it up for the first down. And, you know, he's one of the players from Concordia's side who's familiar with this building. He played here in the 1992 Metro Bowl with West Hill when his team won it and was the most valuable player in that game.
Kronemeyer passing. It is intercepted. Yes, Curtis Alvers has the interception, went down, and they blow it dead right away. But there's a turnover, and Saskatchewan will take over at their 38-yard line.
Now, you know what, John? Kronemeyer coming in here. One of the things I know that Pat Sheehan probably told him to do is, you know, play the game the way we want it right here. Don't force anything, and don't hurt us. I mean, don't play conservatively, but you can't hurt us today. You've got to come out and make some plays.
Looked like that one was intended for 84 Hugo Carriere and overthrown.
Well, I think he misread that. There was a mix-up there because Carriere turned around on the hook and he threw it over his head.
So good break for the Huskies now. Ryan Reed handing it off to Rosen. Left side, no room. A lot of Stingers stacked up there. Dunn back in the game. And Drummond and McLean Stevenson in there, and Sam Toussaint as well.
I'll tell you, you know, Paul Chester's done a great job with this defense this year. And we talked about the quickness of Concordia's front 7, the front 8. There's a fumble, and they're giving it to...
Some Concordia celebration going on, although only half of the defense started to leave the field, and see some offensive players coming on. The officials continue to discuss it.
That's an inadvertent whistle, if nothing else.
We have a referee's inadvertent whistle. The down will be replayed.
An inadvertent whistle by the referee, so they'll replay the down.
That's beautiful.
Trying to run counter sweep, and the ball pops loose. There was a fumble on the play, but the referee went dead earlier, an inadvertent whistle, so Concordia do not get the ball back. Huge break for Saskatchewan.
It was Christian Cote, 29 of Concordia, picking it up.
We have an inadvertent whistle. The down will be 2. Second down, 2.
So an inadvertent whistle being called on that one.
Why is it second down?
Play will be repeated.
Need the play.
It is 2nd and 9. Saskatchewan. Concordia thought it had a turnover, but no. Still Ryan Reed and the Huskies with it in a 2nd and long situation, up by 3. 11:32 to go until halftime. Over the middle. Deflected and nearly picked off by Jason Casey. And there was another possible big play, but it was dropped.
That's probably the first bad pass we've seen Ryan Reed throw this afternoon. Again, they're manned up again, and the ball's going a little bit high here. Now watch Casey, does a good job, but he starts to turn his head to go up the field to see how he's going to run with it. You've got to secure it. Right here. Looks like he's got the ball, and then he turns and looks up before he secures it. And it's just a very basic fundamental of tucking the ball away and watching it into your arm to be tucked away.
Now, in fairness, could you say this is a little more forgivable here?
Oh, no question, because he's not a receiver. I mean, he's a guy, but, you know, again, it comes down to fundamentals.
Sure, and also after a deflection and having to turn around.
Sure.
Still could have been another big play for Concordia. A good punt from Matt Keller. Dave Spence had the great return. 52-yarder the last time out of the end zone. This one only picks up a yard or 2. Concordia will go to work after a 48-yard punt and a 6-yard return, trailing by 3. It's been a frustrating Vanier for both quarterbacks in this game because of drop balls by the receivers.
No question, and I think Ryan Reed would be frustrated. The first one, Doug Rosen, sure touchdown, just kind of goes right through the basket. And the next one to Derek Malinchuk, has his man beat. This is a sure 6. Can't hold it, can't find the trigger. And then Concordia, they throw it down to Hugh Carriere down the seam. This one looks like it could go for 6 as well. Can't find the handle. The ball's on the ground.
And following that play, John Kronemeyer threw one to Jim Wood, number 15, who dropped the ball. 2 drop balls on that drive, and then you saw Jason Case, who made a nice defensive play but couldn't hang on. What would have been an interception. Looking deep. Sylvain Girard, does he have it? Yes, he does. There's a big catch in great coverage by Mike Beasley, and a big first down for Concordia, gain of 34.
You know, Sylvain Girard could be really the difference in this game for Concordia if they hope to win it. You know, he had a game this year where he had 5 touchdown receptions, setting an OQIFC record. But what a great job of body position. You know, he jumps up and he makes sure that he's in front of him. We took a look, 20 catches in the regular season, 9 touchdowns, really incredible.
And he had 5 touchdowns in 1 game against Laval, October the 3rd. The hitch, complete. And no gain. That one thrown out to Evan Davis. He might have even lost a foot or so on that first down. It'll be 2nd and long.
And look who's making the tackle, Warren Musica. You know, everybody talks about Warren Musica saying, you know, big, tough, strong. You know what I know he mentions, and this is probably his greatest attribute, is his quickness and speed. I mean, he covers, his range from sideline to sideline is absolutely phenomenal.
Last year, a nominee, a runner-up for the President's Trophy as top defensive player in Canada. This year, he won it, beating out, among others, Concordia's Greg Rumfield. After the high shotgun snap, Kronemeyer completes it. Girard again, the go-to guy, gets another. It's inside the Saskatchewan 30. First down, Stingers on the move.
Well, Kronemeyer does a good job of escaping contain. They have a high snap right off the bat. Doesn't see his man open. He gets outside. There's no contain. The worst thing a defensive coordinator hates to see. Does a really good job of not trying to rifle the ball, just laying it out there for Sylvain Girard to make the catch.
Girard, 3 catches, 51 yards, and 2 big ones on this drive. Stingers are in scoring position. Musica chasing Kronemeyer, who has to run out of bounds and nearly takes a hit on his way. Couldn't find anything open, so it'll be 2nd down.
I'll tell you, there'd be a surge of adrenaline if you're a quarterback out there and you had this guy trying to hunt you down. And like John Kronemeyer just kind of picked it up a little bit faster here when he saw number 47 tracking him down. Did the smart thing, get out of bounds. Trevor Lukey coming across as well, and did a good job by Lukey too, not to hit him. 6 feet, 210 pounds, plays like a 240-pounder the way he hits, but like a 170-pounder the way he runs.
From the 28, Kronemeyer, Carriere can't hang on. Took a hit from Curtis Albers, but once again, it was a catchable ball.
And you're only going to get one chance to catch it. You know, Saskatchewan's defensive backs are pretty physical. Curtis Albers is right there to make the play. Again, we're running a little route coming across the middle. Albers comes up. Does a good job of even putting his hands in there, but you've got to make these catches. You've got to extend your arms out and get the ball at its highest point and secure it in your hand. You cannot wait for it to come into your body.
Albers, in his first year from Humboldt, Saskatchewan. Here comes Dave Miller-Johnston, the hero of the Atlantic Bowl and the MVP in that game with a 45-yard clutch field goal that won it for the Stingers over the Acadia Axemen. This attempt to come from the 35, well within his range. From the hash mark on the right to tie the game. And we do have a tie in the 1998 Vanier Cup. Approaching the midway point of the 2nd quarter, Pat Sheehan might even have reason to crack a smile. Back after this. The team in green and white would have reason to think it should be up by more, or at least up in this 2nd quarter. Instead, it's a tie game after a 35-yard field goal by Concordia's Dave Miller-Johnston. You know, Ryan Reed has had a good day at quarterback, but they don't have the points to show for it. They'll go again, throwing again. Looking to his left, it's complete. And it's Kelly McNairn on the receiving end with a flag on the play across the 40.
It's going to be offside Concordia, I believe it. Wayne Dunn, number 91. Left defensive end. Came across a little bit too soon.
Offside. 91 Concordia. First down repeated. First down.
Penalty against Dunn, and make it 1st and 5 now.
And they teach a defensive lineman at the bottom of your screen to see him jump. You have to look at the ball. You can't go in anybody else's.
Huskies at their 40. The handoff. Bromfield is there to greet Doug Rosen and prevent a 1st down.
Dwayne Bromfield comes in, who we said is the OQIFC nominee for Defensive Player of the Year. You can see why. An all-Canadian linebacker. The thing with great hitters, one thing you notice about them, Rod, is they're always in proper position in which to make the hit. They're never off balance. They always have their shoulders square. Make sure their legs are underneath them. They accelerate right up through the hit.
You don't often see a middle linebacker wearing number 7. He told us 2 weeks ago that it's for his mother, her favorite number 7. Easy to recognize him. And easy to recognize him again as he goes in and sticks Todd Linden. Good defensive work by the Stingers. However, it was short yardage. And it looks like a 1st down on that 2nd and short. Yes, the sticks do move, so the drive will continue for Saskatchewan across their 45. There is an experienced coach.
Brian Towers, his team's record 8-2 coming into this year. Only 2 losses in the season. 1 to UBC last game of the season. And also to Alberta.
So it's 1st and 10 for the Huskies. Reed passing again. It's in behind his intended receiver, Jason Crum. So it'll be 2nd down.
And you can see a little bit now here how the rush is starting to affect the passing game, even though they're running it short here. As Derek Malinchuk, the ball is thrown to his outside. He's trying to come in. But, you know, the rush now is starting to get to Ryan Reed a little bit, so now he's trying to hurry.